Please video like and subscribe this channel. Peace was supposed to be easy this time. That was the lie everyone told themselves as the diplomatic vessel Horizons Accord drifted into orbit above the capital world of Aserai Prime. After 32 years of intermittent war between humanity and the Aserai Dominion, both sides were exhausted. Fleets were depleted. Economies strained. Entire border systems had turned into graveyards of metal and silence. So when the Aserai Queen agreed to formal negotiations, the galaxy held its breath. I wasn't supposed to matter. I was listed as a secondary human delegate, an advisory historical analyst, buried halfway down the official roster. No speeches. No cameras. No attention. I was there to answer questions if needed and to quietly observe. That was fine by me. Because if anyone truly recognized me, peace wouldn't just be difficult. It would be impossible. The throne chamber of Aserai Prime was nothing like human halls of power. It wasn't designed to intimidate through size alone, but through precision. Every pillar was grown from crystalline stone that hummed faintly with energy. Light bent subtly around the architecture, making it difficult to judge distance or depth, an intentional disorientation tactic. The Queen sat at the far end, elevated on a living dais of biometal and luminous vines. Queen Zyra of Aserai. She was taller than I remembered. Her people were avian humanoid hybrids, long-limbed, with layered feathers along their arms and necks, and eyes like polished amber. Royal Aserai bore iridescent crown feathers that flared when they felt strong emotion. Hers lay smooth and controlled as we entered. For now, human delegates took their assigned seats. The Aserai Council mirrored them on the opposite side. Translation fields activated. Security drones hovered invisibly at the chamber's edges. Peace was on the table. Treaties glowed in holographic projections between us. Ceasefire terms. Border realignments. Reparations. Cultural exchange programs. Everything had been negotiated for months through intermediaries. All that remained was formality. The lead human ambassador, Director Halvorsen, stood and inclined his head. On behalf of the United Terran Systems, we thank Her Radiance for hosting this summit. We believe today marks the end of a long and painful conflict. Polite murmurs followed. Queen Zyra rose gracefully. Her voice, when she spoke, carried an echo like wind through high branches. The Aserai Dominion values stability. Let us see if your species has finally learned its cost. Her gaze swept the delegation. And then, it stopped. Her eyes locked onto me. The chamber didn't change, but the air did. Pressure built, subtle but undeniable. Her crown feathers lifted slightly, shimmering with a dangerous hue. No. No, no, no. You, she said, her voice cutting cleanly through the hall. Stand. Every human head turned toward me. Halvorsen shot me a sharp look. This was not protocol. Slowly, I rose from my seat. Yes, Your Radiance. I asked, keeping my voice steady. She descended one step from her dais. State your name. I swallowed. Commander Elias Rook. Formerly of the United Terran Fleet. Currently assigned as a civilian analyst. A hush fell. Aserai councillors leaned toward one another, feathers rustling. The Queen took another step closer, her gaze never leaving my face. Commander, she repeated softly. So the rumors were true. Halvorsen stiffened. Your Radiance, if there is an issue. There is, Zyra said. Her feathers flared fully now, radiant and sharp. Because this human should not be here. The peace table flickered. My heart pounded, but my mind was already years away, back to a burning sky and shattered hulls. Back to the Battle of Keeler Rift. It had been the turning point of the war. Aserai forces had ambushed a human evacuation convoy, non-combatants, medical ships, civilian transports. I had been the commanding officer of the escort fleet. Outnumbered, outgunned, and desperate. I remembered issuing the order that still haunted me. Redirect fire to the command carrier. I had known what it meant. Aserai command carriers housed not just tactical corps, but royal observers. Symbolic figures meant to ensure loyalty. I had gambled that they wouldn't expect a human to strike something so politically sensitive. I was right. The carrier had gone down in flames. The war escalated overnight. The Queen's voice pulled me back to the present. You ordered the destruction of the Starbloom of Zareth, she said. You killed my predecessor. Gasps rippled through both delegations. Halvorsen turned pale. That's impossible. That incident was classified, Zyra snapped. By both sides. But I was there. Her eyes burned. I watched my mother die because of you. The chamber erupted into chaos. Human security shifted. Aserai guards unfurled wing blades. Translation fields crackled under the strain. Peace trembled. I raised my hands slowly. I did give the order, I said. And I would give it again. Halvorsen hissed, Are you insane? Silence, Queen Zyra commanded. She descended until she stood directly in front of me, close enough that I could feel the heat of her bioluminescent markings. Do you know, she asked quietly, how many Aserai demanded your execution when they learned your name was on this delegation list? I can guess, I said. Do you know why you are still breathing? I met her gaze. Because you wanted to see me. Her feathers stilled. Yes, she said. Because I needed to look into the eyes of the human who shattered my life. The chamber waited, frozen. When my mother's ship fell, Zyra continued, I was a junior royal, unblooded, untested. The council wanted vengeance. Total war. Extermination. Her voice softened, just slightly. But as I studied the battle records, I saw something they refused to acknowledge. She gestured, and a hologram bloomed between us, battle telemetry, trajectories, damage assessments. You did not target civilian vessels, she said. You sacrificed your own flagship to shield ours. You struck only when retreat was impossible. Her eyes narrowed. You chose the single action that could save your people, knowing it would damn you forever. The room was silent except for the hum of projections. I didn't expect mercy, I said. I expected survival. For them. I thought of the evac ships slipping into hyperspace, battered but alive. That was my duty. Zyra studied me for a long moment. Then she did something no one expected. She dismissed the hologram and turned back toward her throne. Sit, she said to me. Murmurs exploded. Halvorsen leaned close. You're alive, he whispered. Don't push it. The negotiations resumed, but they were no longer formal. Every clause was scrutinized with brutal honesty. Zyra challenged human assumptions, human authority, human morality, and she did it through me. She asked about command decisions, about sacrifice, about the cost of peace paid by those never remembered in treaties. I answered every question, not as a diplomat, as a soldier. Hours passed. Tension slowly transformed not into comfort, but into understanding. At last, Queen Zyra rose once more. Peace was on the table, she said, her voice carrying through the chamber. Until I recognized him. Every eye turned toward us. And yet, she continued, because I recognized him, peace will remain. She descended the dais and extended one taloned hand toward me. Aserai law permits a life debt acknowledgement, she said. When an enemy chooses restraint where annihilation is possible. My breath caught. She wasn't just sparing me. She was legitimizing the treaty. I acknowledge Commander Elias Rook, she declared, as one who chose responsibility over glory. Let this peace be bound not by words, but by the memory of what nearly destroyed us. I clasped her hand. The chamber erupted not in violence, but in stunned, reverent silence. The treaty was signed moments later. When it was over, and the delegations began to disperse, Zyra spoke to me privately. "You carry ghosts," she said. "So do you," I replied. She inclined her head. "Perhaps that is why we understand each other." As I left the chamber, I realized something profound. Peace isn't born from forgetting the past. It's born when those who remember it most choose not to repeat it. Peace was on the table. Until the Queen recognized me. And because she did, the galaxy finally stepped back from the edge.